Hello and welcome to call number 2 of creating an online business. And today's topic is all about where do I start? And that is kind of two-way question, because one is the technical side of it and another side is mental state. Because like I kind of started my online business, I would say 10 years ago. But I was starting it for 7 years ago, 7 years. Like it's kind of sounds ridiculous. Like, how do you start 7 years? It's like you just start and do it. But it's actually when your mindset is not there, or your mindset is has these really weird points of view, it doesn't really go anywhere. Because there are the points of view that I have to get it right. I don't have enough knowledge. I don't know what to kind of sell. Like all these things kind of come up, and then you just go crazy, and then yeah, you just go crazy. So what I used to do, I used to just tell people, "Oh, I'm creating my website. I'm doing this. I'm starting this," and honestly, like it got to the point where I was already like I was getting embarrassed to tell people that I'm working on my business, I'm working on this, and because there was nothing really to show for. Like I didn't really have any clients, I didn't really have any products. It's like it was in my head I was having an online business, but there was no money, there was no clients, there was no nothing. It's just me doing something. And another thing is technical side of it, where you don't really know how to create whatever you are creating. Like if you want to create an ebook, or if you want to create a digital product, or if you want to create your consultancy business, uh, people who are not really familiar with technologies and they just have an idea. Uh, and if they are, like for me, technology never was a problem. I could always figure out how to do it, but for me, it was a mindset. And there are lots of people who have a mindset and they just don't know where to start, or they maybe don't have money enough at the beginning to actually invest and tell someone else to do it. Because there are lots of people around the world who already know what you want to create and they know how you can do it too. But you either don't want to pay them, or you don't have any money at that time, or all any other reasons why you're not doing it. So first I want to talk about mental side of it. My response to that now would be just start. But when if someone said it to me, like when I was in the starting position, just start, I would just probably punch them in the face, because I didn't know where to start. Even though I was starting it, I was going to different seminars, I was watching YouTube videos, even though at the time it wasn't that many. I was reading books, and I was I read the book by Tim Ferriss, 4 Hour Work Week. Yeah, 4 Hour Work Week. Yep. And I was reading Laptop Millionaire, and I forgot his name, Mark something. And it was like really simple in a way. Like the way they were describing it, it was really simple. The idea was really simple. But even though the idea was very simple, I was complicating it. And there could be a point that it's actually because you are having ease, and simplicity is not something we are used to it. Especially if we are if we have already decided that something is complicated and hard, then it's really, unless you are one of those who just bulldozes through whatever, if it's easy or if it's hard or it's complicated, then it's usually something that stops us from actually creating something, even though it's actually simple and easy. Uh, just like a like what it's called, this, like a example. Like I'm really good at technology. Like I can easily figure out how to do things, and how to do things, and there is like lots of information online how to do it. And last year, I our banks, our local banks, were switching from one system to another system. How you log in into your internet bank, and I really liked the old way, and they were changing it. They were basically removing it, and I had to choose between the other two. And I didn't like any of those ideas. Literally was going in my head crazy, insane about that, and I decide. I already, like those old grumpy men in the movies when they just they just grumpy for no reason, and they just grumpy because they are grumpy, and they just make a problem out of. So basically, I created a problem out of it in my head because I didn't want them to change the system. They were kind of forcing me to change system when I didn't want to do it, and I already made the thing difficult. And and it took me probably an hour or two to get the new thing going, even though it would have taken me a couple seconds if I was just getting out of my own way and just do it and just choose one and have no point of view about it. But I had so many points of view about it. And that's one thing that's kind of holding us back from like starting and doing something. We are just making it too complicated and hard, and then we stop ourselves and then we kind of give up. The the really one way would be just start where you are. Like where do you start? Yeah, start where you are. Like every morning you wake up and you just start wherever you are at the moment. It's not like you get out of bed and you're suddenly in totally different universe, but every day for you is probably different, unless you're one of those people who creates your day the same. But for example, when you get out of your bed, well, you have many options. You can get out of one side, the other side. So basically you have four sides to get out of. Unless your bed is by the wall or in a corner, then you have two or three sides to get out of bed. You can jump out of it, you can fall out of it, you can roll out of it, all sorts of, or you can stay in bed all day. That's another option. But you basically start the day wherever you are at the moment. And then you have another choice. You either go to the shower, you make a breakfast, or you go for a run, you go to work, you go to, don't know, take your kids to school. It's basically, this is how you start your day. And this is basically how you start your business. You start where you are at the moment. For example, I'm me here sitting at my desk table talking to you, like for this for however long I'm going to be talking to you. This is what I'm creating from this moment. I'm creating this call, so for the next, let's say, half an hour or 40 minutes, I'm going to be sitting here talking to you. And after that, I'm probably what I'm planning to do is make a list of all the things that I need to institute for my business. This is where you could start, like make a list of things that you can create and just pick one thing and start doing it. And then this is where we kind of start to get in our own way. Our own points of view are getting in our way because when we look at the list, especially if it's really huge list, it's it's you don't know which one to choose. There are many things you could choose. There are many things that you can institute and implement, and then you pick one, and then you decide that you don't know how to do it, or it's too hard to do it, or you have to create something else before you put that thing out. And it just goes on and on and on. It could turn into weeks and months and years. And what if you just ask the question, like if you have a really huge list and you can ask yourself, which one of those things is the easiest thing for me to create? Which one of these things is would create most? Which one of these things would create like money right away, or whatever your question is, whatever you're trying to create? And then you basically you look at the things and you make a list of all the things that you need to create for that thing. And then you start with like if you don't know how to create it, maybe you know someone who does. Maybe you can type it in YouTube, because YouTube has loads of information and resources on how to create anything basically. You just type it like, let's say, if you try to create landing page, how to create a landing page, and there is lots of first probably week or two will be like looking up these things, seeing what is there and what is not there, and basically it will be trial and error. You just create something, you don't like it, you move to another thing. And instead of basically what we are taught in our like short lives, that if you can't create something straight away and it's not perfect, then you're a loser, and you're basically going to be loser for the rest of your life, and then you just basically give up. But if you don't have that point of view, that just because you it's not really a failing, you just didn't know how to create it. We are uh, like sometimes I just want to punch in face those people who tell you that you are a loser, you are a failure because something didn't work out. It's not that you are a loser or failure, it's just that you don't know how to create it and you don't know how to create the way you want it. But there is always a way how to do it. So you just need to find that thing. Like yeah, you just need to find a way how to, like what Thomas Edison used to say. I don't know whether he said it, but it doesn't matter. That it took him, let's say, 10,000 attempts to create a light bulb, and he just basically discovered 10,000 ways how not to create the light bulb. But I can pretty sure say that by doing these 10,000 attempts, he discovered something else. Not just how to create, not to create light bulb. He probably created something else out of that. It's like basically you try to build a chair and you end up building a, I don't know, candelabra or something, or a shoe or something. It's basically you never know what it's gonna create and how it's gonna create, because there is a way how to create it and you will have to find it. And it's the same with online business. Like when first people started online business 20, 30, yeah, but 20 years ago. Yeah, let's say 20 years ago, there was not much going on. There were only available, you create a simple website and you can create email, and that was it. That's all they had. And most of the people who started, they didn't have like automated e-commerce websites and things like that. They basically had to kind of probably do everything manually. Nothing was that automated. They probably had to post everything themselves. Like now, these days, you can do like a print on your t-shirt, and you don't have to actually do anything because the company does this for you. And So yeah, you actually are in the time when creating an online business is really easy. You just need to find the ways you you just need to find the way how to do it, and that's kind of pretty simple when you actually look at the solutions instead of the problem, because you are actually the one who is creating a problem and you're not want to see it past it, especially if you have decided that yeah, something is difficult or hard or you can't do it. Because when you tell yourself I can't do it or I don't know how to do it, you can't actually see what's behind it. If you keep telling yourself over and over again, you're actually like basically whatever you ask for, you receive. If you keep saying I don't know how to do it, or this is not working, or I'm stupid and I'm loser, and then universe actually delivers that to you. It actually confirms, yes, you are a loser, yes, you don't know how to do it, yes, you are this and you are that. And this is where actually we are stopping ourselves. I need to something with my hands. I keep fidgeting. And so yeah, that's kind of like a mental side of this thing. Like I've been working with access consciousness tools for over about 7 years ago. I started in 2013, and I'm so grateful that I actually discovered the tools, because the being in a question and asking constantly questions about whatever you want to create in life and how you want to create it, it's actually uh, so much easier to do things. And there is like this learning curve when you start to learn questions, when you start to notice what's working and what's not working, and eventually you're getting that. You will get there. You just have to learn how to do that, because all our lives we have learned to look for the answers, and never ask the question or just sit down and shut up like I used to do. It's for me. It was I grew up in Soviet Union, and I was really kind of timid and shy when it came to the school, and authority was a big deal for me. And so asking a questions when I wasn't supposed to, or talk when I wasn't supposed to, it used to scare the shit out of me. I was one of those children who never asked the question. I always was sitting quietly and not doing anything. Like basically, we used to sit like this with hands like this on the desk and listen for 40 minutes. We had to listen to the teacher. And if you want to ask something, we put up our hand or write down something wherever we need. But basically, we had to sit down and for 40 minutes, then 5 minutes break, and then another 40 minutes. And that was pretty much our school life, in especially in the early ages. Later on, it became something else when we separated from Soviet Union. But yeah, that wasn't that easy, and I learned, and for me that was the way of living, because when you spend most of the time at school, and you kind of learn that as you're living. So I kind of wasn't even I didn't even ask the question to find out something, because I had to wait for someone else to tell me what I should know. And with access tools, it's actually taught me basically unlearn all of this and learn in new ways. And if we are taught from the early ages wrong way to live, I don't want to say it's a wrong way. It's just the way it doesn't work for me. Then you have to learn new kind of tricks to actually create something else. So that's about the mental state. So if you want to start, you just start wherever you are. Make a list. Find how you do it, or or find someone else who knows how you can do it. Okay, the second part about the technical stuff. As I said, there is a lot of information out there already about how you do it and how to do it, but where would you start with various type of businesses? If you have a consultancy business or coaching business, you need few things. You need a landing page. You have to tell people what you do. And there are again different options. You can actually, if your product is session session based, and if you sell one session, one single session, then you will need to have like a payment plan, like a PayPal or Stripe or what else? There are lots of ways to get your payments in now as well. Or if you're already building like your website and that's kind of CRM system or WordPress, then there is like integrated payment systems like Kartra or Kajabi, and those are the ones I'm most familiar with. And for WordPress would be the most common is you either add PayPal link or WooCommerce option, or there is some kind of e-commerce plugin like Ecwid is the one I have worked with before, and WooCommerce. And so basically that's what you need. You need a landing page and you need the payment option. And if you want to make it more automated, then you can add some kind of appointment system, like some kind of where people, when they pay, they can schedule the session straight away. Like I'm me myself using something called Appointlet. Kartra has its own integrated calendar system. You can use Calendly. There was the one, not sure which. There was some more which are really, yeah. Basically, again, you just type in Google appointment scheduler, and it's gonna give you options. I'm gonna put in the description some links, some of the links where you can the ones I'm using. And you're probably gonna need like some kind of email system, whether if you want it automated. If you want to do it manually, then you're gonna need your own email, because you want to tell people to contact you to schedule a session, and you need payment link, and you need the landing page wherever you're telling people what you do, like how you do sessions, how much they cost, and a little bit about yourself. That's a consulting and coaching business. If you're doing online classes, then you probably as well gonna need a landing page where you tell people what class is about. If it's a free opt-in, for example, like if you want to start collecting email addresses, you're gonna need a form. If you don't have much to invest, you can use MailChimp. It's basically with a free plan. You can create a free landing page and autoresponder email, and you can start building your email list from this webinar. And for the online call you would need, or online class or digital course, you're going to need again landing page, payment option, and some kind of email. And you're going to need somewhere to deliver this course. If it's like online class like I do, then you're going to need Zoom account. You can actually, if you're not doing 1 hour long, you can actually get away with having a free account. With a free account, you get up to 40 minutes free with two or more people on your call. If you're just one-on-one, you can actually use it for sessions. You can have one-on-one talk unlimited. Once you start adding more people, then you need a paid account. Or you can use Skype. Some people are still using Skype, but with technologies going up and becoming more advanced, more and more people choose something else. But you still can do like a Skype if you are just starting out. So that's for online classes. Yeah, first as well, you need to start building your email list. Even though email is kind of changing, people still very much use it, and I'm not seeing it going away anytime soon, especially if you're using email to log in to the different places, even though now you're using your social media links as well. But I don't really like using my social accounts to log into things, because Facebook still can penalize you for something and lock you out, and you can't really log into anything else then. And for many businesses, especially who have built online the email list, and it's quite big in thousands, it's still one of their primary money maker. And you build your email list with free opt-ins. It could be ebook, it could be free call, webinar, it could be email course, pretty much anything you can use and you are willing to give away for free. You can give pre-recorded calls for free, or like I'm doing this live call, and after that I can actually use as a free opt-in pre-recorded. And that's kind of really important, especially when I'm talking to many people who already kind of have business for years, and they actually haven't started to build their email list. Even though I actually had been starting my business for years, it still was one of my primary things that I need to build an email list. But many people don't consider that as option. It's like unnecessary things. They do like classes, online classes or live classes. They do sessions, but they actually never collect their email addresses. And they probably have met hundreds of people throughout their own classes, but they actually don't have a database of them. So every time the new class come up, they don't have anyone to send it to. So that's pretty much where you have to start when you start your online business. Start building your email list. Find anything, like especially if you're starting and you already have idea what your business is going to be about. You probably already have a lots of things you can actually give away for free to collect email addresses. And in that way, when you decide in like nearest future to offer something paid, you have someone to tell it to, you have someone to email it to. So that's kind of number one. Start building your email list, and then go from there. Start to make a list of basically all the things that you can offer. Like when I first started with helping out other businesses, I made a list of all the things I can do online, all the things I kind of know how to do it. I'm still did it, and then I did the research how to do them and kind of practice not to make. And as well, there are lots of things that I didn't know at the time how to build, but I still said, because I kind of had the sense of the things that I can figure out how to do. There are things that I don't know how to figure out, but there are things I can definitely figure out, or it might take longer, or I need to hire someone else how to figure it out for me, or hire someone who already figured it out. So basically, yeah, that's what you do. You create a list of all the things that you know how to do and all the things that you can talk about. Like, yeah, it pretty much depends where on your business. If you want to do, if you are access facilitator, you can you can do live classes, but you can do as well online classes, which has become really popular in the last few years. And just make a list of all the things that you can talk about, all the topics that people would be interested, all the look what other people are putting it out there. Maybe you can kind of borrow some ideas from them. If you're writing something, just make a list of all the things that you can write about, all the things that you are interested in yourself. Because if you are interested in something, there are probably hundreds and thousands of people who are interested in the same thing. It's basically how you start wherever you are. Because you can't, if you decide to become, I don't know, have a gardener's business about gardens, you probably already know something about the gardens. You probably already have your own garden, worked in a garden, or have ideas, some idea how to grow tomatoes or cucumbers. But if you don't really have any clue how to do it, you either get busy finding it out, or you maybe find something else. Look at the things that you like doing. Like, do you like walking and going into the nature? Do you like being with animals? Do you love cooking? Because there are so many cooking channels out there. There are even ladies in the 60s and 70s and 80s doing their cooking channel. I'm sure they didn't know how to use YouTube when they started, but they probably really loved cooking. There is one lady who does, I think she's in 60s. No, she's older, 70s, 80s. And she's basically, her business is criticizing other people's cooking. I think that was the thing, yeah. And this is all she does. And she does it in a really funny way. So people kind of like it. There are people who make money from, like, when you, last time I was talking about affiliate business. And it's really easy to start with affiliate business because you don't have to come up with your own product. Only thing you have to come up is a niche of the product you want to sell. Let's say if you are into access business, you can start, like, access consciousness gives you really good resources when it comes to affiliate business. You basically just have to get your own links for products and just promote it. And you can do that for anything. And only thing you pretty much need is, in this case, it would be good to have an email list because you can send it to your list. Or it could be great following on your social media, especially if you are one of those who aspire to be an influencer. Just do a reviews on different products and add affiliate link at the bottom. And you don't really need the website or anything. You just basically tell people what you do and add links. So that's how easy it is actually. And then you can go from there. If you start, you can start writing blog articles about the products. Make YouTube videos about it, do Facebook lives about it, do Instagram posts about it. This is how you start with affiliate business. And people who tell me that it's hard to start an online business or they don't know where to start there. Because you can sign up for any affiliate. Find your favorite company, and most of the big companies have affiliate programs. Sign up for it and just start promoting the shit out of them. And you don't really have to sell anything. You just receive commissions from whatever you sell. And you can become really good because there are people only business is to promote affiliate products, and that's their business, and they're earning really good money from it. I'm not sure if anyone became a millionaire out of it, but you never know. So what else can you do? You can write a book. Oh, that's kind of longer process, but even book you can publish yourself on Amazon, or oh, hey Sasha. Hey, we are almost finished. Welcome. So basically, yes, when you do affiliate business, you just need to have your own social media following and just find ways to promote your list. And yeah, that's what you do with affiliate business. I was talking about the books. Yeah, basically, if you write the books, then you can actually self-publish. If it's an ebook, you can actually publish yourself on Amazon, and Amazon actually gives you options to how you format it. And basically, because it's an ebook, you just upload it once. You just basically just promote it and get the money in that way. And there is as an option, you don't actually have to go through the publisher. You just go to you can actually print on demand. Only only thing the publisher has greater, like what it's called, channels where the book can be promoted, and they have big fundings as well where you can sell. So basically, if you want to actually publish like real book, you have to have some money already in. If you are an artist, you can actually, but along with selling your paintings, you can do the commission paintings, or you can actually sell your art printed on different mugs, different t-shirts, and different everything. Basically anything that can be printed on, you can actually do something. And Sasha, if you have any questions about...
No. Montala, poczekaj, pridi sem. Boš pozdravil Igo. Reči čau.
Nice banana. So yeah, that's basically what you do when you create as an artist. Because I actually as well, like a few years ago, I'm an artist as well. So I do I used to do graphics, and basically graphic is something you draw, and for me it's usually black and white, and it's easy to actually create really cool designs for your t-shirts. And even if you're not really like artsy and you can't draw, you can actually create a really cool, if you find really cool fonts, and create a really cool sayings. Like lots of people actually these days buy t-shirts with like a word, not that much of the picture. So, and you can get all kinds of different fonts anywhere, and it's actually can be additional to any business you do. You don't have to have an artist business. You can, like, even if you are, like, say, access consciousness facilitator, you can create really cool questions, and you just need to check trademark, because access consciousness trademarked some of the questions. And but you can even, like, if you have a coaching business or consulting business, you can actually create really cool names about, or sayings about the niche, and basically upload it to one of the print on demand things, and they just basically print for you, and they send you money when someone buys your design. And the same with mugs. And that could be as well, if you're building a brand, if you are really well known, you can actually just print, like, I don't know, if you're like Coca-Cola, have you seen how many Coca-Cola t-shirts are there? So you basically, if you're building a brand, you can create like really cool, like tote bags and t-shirts, not cups, hats and mugs and all sorts of things. So this is, yeah. So I think I kind of covered most of, oh, you can do like as well iPhone covers and all sorts of things with your business logo. And that could be as well really good option to give to your clients. So what else, like what you need? Like lots of people are get themselves kind of what it's called, they kind of stop themselves when it comes to the website, especially if you are just starting out in with a business. You don't really need a website straight away, and this is where lots of people kind of shoot themselves in the foot, because they decide that to be a professional business you need to have an you need to have a website, but it's actually not true, because you because first of all, usually website takes longer time to build, and it's actually one of the biggest expenses, especially if you're starting with an online business. And sometimes just you can start with just one page, just tell people what you do. When I first started with my VA services, I basically just created one page with everything I do, all the things, and put the price up and tell this is what I do and this is how much it costs to do, for me to do it. And this was it. That's all I had. Because before I used to complicate stuff, and I didn't even have a proper domain name. Before that, I was building my website for years and years and never actually did anything. And that's when I started couple, not couple, last summer with Kartra. What I did was, like, Kartra has lots of things you can build with it. You can build website, landing pages, email lists, schedule your appointments, everything you basically want for your online business, you can build with Kartra. And so you could actually as well, and it costs starting $99 a month to have a Kartra account. And if you are and at the time I didn't really have that much money to invest in the business. And what I did was, instead of actually starting and building my website, like 10 pages for my website, I just created one page again for my VA services. And I changed the way how I work. And at the beginning of the month, I demanded that I will make the next payment from extra money, not from the money that's already coming in, but I will make an extra money. And I didn't really cover that in the first part, but the thing is, when you make a demand of yourself, it's one of those things that this is what is gonna happen, and there is no way it's gonna happen any other way. And you don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's kind of, you just know, and you go with that. It's kind of hard to like explain something that's not visible, but demand is something, it's, yeah, it's just that energy, like, when something has to happen, you don't know how is this gonna happen, but is that is going to happen. It's almost like you have no other choice, but it's not from the place when you don't have a choice. It's like from the example, I don't know where I did tell this story somewhere, but I have no idea where did I tell the story somewhere. I think it was one of the weekly shows I had. A year ago, about this time of the year, I was really ill. I was so ill I couldn't get out of my bed, and I actually stayed with my parents for a few days because I just couldn't take care of myself. And my sister, when I was already much better, my sister was driving me back home, and she chose the road, like a dirt road that was snowed in, and it was like a really like a deep snow, and her car basically stuck on the road. We couldn't go back or forth. And I was like still kind of really weak from that being ill. And I was about 1 mile away from my home. And so I walked home, and I thought I'm gonna die on the way because I didn't have any strength or power to actually walk that distance, especially in the deep snow. And so basically I had no choice. I either stay in the middle of the road or go home. So I had to kind of push myself to walk home. And this is, well, in that moment there was no really option. So well, I'm gonna sit till the spring comes on the road. There wasn't an option. So I just had to walk, even though I didn't have a strength or power to do it. And well, I could collapse, but there was no option. I didn't want someone to find me in the spring as well. And so I just walk home. I did stop few times to rest, but I did walk. But this is something we are not doing in when it comes to building things. When we have a, let's say, target of the month to have this and that amount of money in, are we are not actually uh, doing this thing. Like there is a middle of months and we haven't even reached half of our target, and what we do, we either give up, but we don't demand of ourselves that no, this is no option that I'm not reaching this amount of money at the end of month. You basically have to do whatever it takes. And this is something I'm kind of playing around with in my business and in my life. I'm actually demanding of myself and basically doing this walk because there is no like option, or that's not an option to have what the same life I'm having, like for example today, to have the same in next year. Or if I like and there is no way or option that I'm not reaching that amount of money at the end of the month. Or and as well, you can add the ease to it. Like ask for ease for it, because usually it's like really hard. But I don't know when it's changed for me. But now, for example, covering my bills is really easy. I know I'm gonna have money to cover my bills. Only thing that uh, I'm not yet adding. I know I'm not asking enough, not enough, but I'm not asking more for the like a fun stuff to do. Because I like working. I recently realized how I actually like sitting at home and just working on business and working on other people's businesses, and going out and doing other things is not that significant for me at the moment. But down the road, I actually would like to add it, and especially I would like to add, like, because my target is to become Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, and that is one of the things I would like to kind of add and ask for it to kind of happen. At the moment, I'm not doing it, but I need to kind of get myself into the gear and actually ask for it. And so, yeah. Sasha, do you have any questions about the topic?
The question that popped up, it's what's your monthly target in terms of money?
Well, at the moment, it's very, very I kind of consider it's very small. It's about $2,000 a month, but because that's my monthly expenses are not very high, and I kind of am in that position where I'm very comfortable, but I kind of get that this comfort, I need to demand of myself to ask more.
It was just a good topic. Energetically, my ask seems appropriate. I put it on 4,000 euros. It's the demand that I'm asking really what it is. If I go in asking if I acknowledge what I'm creating, the answer is yes. And if I have daily reach a success or contribute to someone or have an impact, it's again a yes.
Yeah.
It's just the target. I'm not reaching it at the moment.
Okay, cool. So this is what today as well. I was, if you are like some time ago, I had this thing called like, are you actually willing to have that amount? And I actually started to like, do you remember a couple weeks ago, like last week we talked about when I do this, I have this secret Facebook group just for myself when I do the thing. So today I was actually sitting, like talking to myself about, am I actually willing to have money? And answer was no. And because there is so many points of view why and one of the most common ones is that we don't want to get um, we don't want to get around ourselves. Like it's almost like fuck those points of view. I'm going around them instead of like for example me. I'm one of those who like to analyze. Like what is the point of view? I need to know that, and I need to kind of look instead of actually fuck it. I'm going around it, and I'm actually was like looking at. Am I willing to have money? Okay, if I'm not willing, what would it take for me to be willing to have that amount of money? And actually just basically doing this question and access clearing statement and just doing, like when you ask the questions, you just go and ask until it clears. Because for me it was like yesterday I was driving my mom to the doctors. It was a really long drive, so I had lots of my time in my head. And so basically what I was doing this question. I'm just gonna get it quickly. Like wolf. Oh, where did it go? Oh, I lost it. So yeah, I keep on. Okay. So what would it take for more cash to show up in my bank accounts right away? So I didn't have really points of view about it, but I was like just going in my head, what would it take to have more cash in my bank accounts right away? And this is a question that Crystal gave in one of the money challenges. And so I'm basically going around and around, and I get awareness that I'm very organized in my head, like very organized. And I kind of know I'm expecting money from this, I expecting money from that and this, but it's not like today. It's not the money today. And so then I was thinking that's an expectation. So then I did this, all the, what's it called? All the projections, expectations, separation, judgments, rejections I have about where the money should come from, who it should come from, how it should come from, why it should come from. So I basically did that in my head. And believe it or not, probably half an hour later, someone messaged me and they bought 3 paintings from me. literally, I was just I'm like, that's like, and what I noticed after that, it's I've reached the limit how much I can receive. I wasn't willing to receive more. It's literally was like I'm asking this question, like what would it take to have more cash to show up? And it's like it wasn't going anywhere. And then I realized I actually not willing to have more. It's like, and this is what usually happens. We kind of reach our like ceiling of our imagined number, and we are not willing to go past it. You know, when you have, let's say, if you have 100 euros expenses a month, you kind of work towards it, you reach this number, you pay your bill, and then you kind of relax and you don't need anymore. So what if we had the same sense of urgency for our own, like, let's say I want to do a class and I'm having the same thing for me.
Thanks. I have this urge, and now I got just the awareness hearing it from you. I was judging myself to have an urge to create a class.
Yep.
It's like a conflictual universe, you know. Let me see if I will be able. Everything that came up now, destroy and uncreate, and all the choices from the past creating this, I destroy and uncreate. It's like that the urge to create something with the aim to create the financial flow, it's wrong. I just became aware now of this.
Yep. And now you have a choice. You clear it.
Everything that, yeah, now I have a choice.
Yeah. And it's actually that kind of easy, because yesterday I was as well, I work with multiple clients, and especially when it gets really busy, I kind of make myself wrong that something is not, I missed something, or something, I messed up something, and I felt guilty. And that again yesterday, I noticed that I don't like feeling that way. And I said, this is it. I'm not feeling guilty about this shit anymore. This has to stop. Honestly, I woke up totally different today. And this is where your choice, when you make a demand of yourself, this is it. I'm not worse being like, I'm not worse that. I'm better than that, than making myself guilty, even though they're not actually judging me. I'm the one judging me. And not the world is not gonna end just because I actually fucked up one email today for one of my clients, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm gonna send a new one. World didn't end because of that. And especially we are our own worst enemies. We are the ones judging us the most. Other people don't do it. Those who judge, they, like in Access, when you have humans and humanoids, humans gonna judge you no matter what. Humanoids are not gonna judge you, they're gonna judge themselves. And so that is where is your choice. And when you judge something, you can't change it. So, and this is another tool I started to use. Like when I'm judging myself, I actually stop and I say, am I judging myself here? And the most of the time answer is yes. And then I actually just clear whatever the judgment. Because I can't change my body if I'm judging it. I can't change my money if I'm judging, especially like I think I posted on the group today. Like, are you judging yourself about something you decided you should be? And you can't, if you can't change it. That's a fact. You can't change it if you're judging yourself. And yeah, just start looking at all the places and.
So good to listen to you and to have such conversation and opportunities. I was just acknowledging yesterday and today, I was judging myself that I'm not well managing the time when, you know, my son is mostly at home. So, you know, I was judging myself that, or just the whole situation, I don't have the time to create, blah, 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 blah. Yeah,
And if you judge, you
yeah.
can't change it. Universe just gonna tell you, you're not. This is what I was talking at the beginning. When you tell yourself, I'm a loser, I can't do this, universe just keep reaffirming, you are a loser, you can't do it.
I used these last 2 days also the acknowledgement, getting clarity what's success for me, getting clarity what's really happening, you know, just acknowledging that yes, my old operating system is doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good also at being. What's here being? What's the clarity? What it is being for me that maybe it isn't? What's my definition? Things like this. So it's. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And I love talking about it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so we are pretty much done today. But thank you, even you just jumped in later on. But yeah, that's the thing, like just keep going and just keep creating. Yeah. Never, like, I think that was really good. I actually created as well for myself these colored cards with the questions. So actually, whenever I'm not sure what's happening, I just kind of browse through these cards. I just oh, this is there. So, and that's what I do. Like one really good question I started to ask. I don't know where did I read it, but what do I need to be different? And that's it. And it just changes. Like it gives me goosebumps every time I ask it. Like,
wow.
what do I need to be different? And that's it. You just, I think.
Don't ask what do I need to change this.
Yeah, no, you can do that too. But sometimes you don't really know if the change. Sometimes it just requires for you to be something else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, because the energies are there. Like if something is not kind of there and you don't know what you actually require, you just need to be something else in that moment. And it kind of opens up different awareness.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. The main turning point for me and my business was to really become aware that I'm asking for the people who, where are all, what would it take for me to be willing to invite people who choose aliveness,
Yeah,
who choose to be alive, to live.
exactly. Because at the moment for me as well is I rather be alone than with people who don't really spark the joy. And
Yeah.
most of those people who actually spark the joy are online. So I just communicate with them mostly.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Ah,
Yeah.
Liga, that's fantastic. Let's do more of this.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Coming.
Yeah. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy what you are creating. You are amazing.
Thank you very much. I'll see you soon somewhere. I'm doing show tomorrow, so I might see you there.
Yeah, you might.
Yeah, weekly show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for being here. Have a lovely evening.
Thanks. Bye. Same to you.
Bye bye.